Hello, everybody. I'm here today with John and Gary. Hi, guys.
Hi, Fiona.
And you two are responsible for a community project, and it's called MindtheMen.
That's right.
That's right.
Can you tell us a wee bit about MindtheMen and what it is that you actually do?
Yeah, sure. Start off it. So MindtheMen, it's a men's peer support group. We're based in Glasgow. We've got 2 clubs in Glasgow, and we're a safe place that men who are facing challenges in life are able to come to. Normally come to. We meet up on a Monday night, talk about their challenges, be listened to, really important, be listened to, and hopefully feel supported at the end of it. We've been going for about nearly 2 years now, and we have up to 40 members coming every week between the 2 clubs. There's a club in Partick and a club in Springburn. Our main overarching aim is to reduce male suicide, which 75% of suicides are men. So we are really passionate about supporting men, encouraging men and helping men to talk. It's the first step to surviving and just be there for the guys. So that's what we do. We're obviously now not able to meet face to face, so we're now meeting over the internet on Zoom each week.
Mm-hmm. And how are your members finding that, the transition from face to face to all of a sudden being, online in a chat room?
Well, it was. Do you want me to go? It was a bit strange at first, even for myself and Gary. Don't get me wrong, we prefer to have the group and the guys, so the guys can shake hands or have a hug at the end and this, that, and the other. But it was a bit of a challenge at first, but the guys have soon got used to it. There's a couple of ones we still have to mute every now and again. Forget that you've got to let the guys have the chance to speak. But overall, the main thing was that we gave the guys the platform still, especially in this climate at this moment in time. Some of the guys are living by themselves and they're stuck behind the same 4 walls, so they need to be able to reach out and talk to the guys. So it's been good. It's been really good, and the guys have really enjoyed it. And you just see every week the improvement in the guys, and some of the guys in particular are really, really coming on leaps and bounds. So it's been a good change. It's been difficult, but we've got there.
Yeah.
Real concern. Yeah.
Sorry,
there's a real concern when the lockdown started. I can remember the night or last night meeting face to face, and there was a real concern in the room that this was it for a while, and what are we going to do? It's I'm not saying it's a lifeline for everybody, but it's something that people they've come to really feel that it's part of their life. Being able to come to this group, and maybe it is a lifeline actually for some of the guys, and and this was just something that was going away. So I think we just had to think really quickly on our feet and think, what can we do? And and it was talk about using these sort of meeting platforms, and I think we've had up to 27 between the 2 groups joining, which has been great, having that many guys. We started just with 1 Zoom meeting, and we had to quickly break it into 2 separate meetings because there was just so many guys wanting to join in. So I think, as John said, it was a bit of a challenge for all of us to begin with, but we had to kind of really plan what we were going to do. And we've tried to keep it as pretty much the same as we do on a club night. We've got quite a sort of strict format we follow in the club. It's not just a free-for-all. And we've pretty much followed that every week, and I think we've got better as facilitators. The 5 of us who facilitate, so that's kind of helped as well.
So, what is the format then? If somebody was wanting to come, what would they expect at one of the meetings?
Yeah, I mean, there's no referral process or anything. It's just the guys turn up on the night, and what happens is they'll certainly be greeted as they come through the door, and that's always the hardest part, taking that first step through the door, but they'll be very welcomed by everybody that's there. We start the night in a circle, normally, when it's face-to-face, but again on Zoom, you'll see all the guys' faces when they appear. And what we do is we ask 6 questions on the night, and these 6 questions help generate conversation. We say to the guys, you don't have to answer the questions that we ask. You can just pass, or you can answer and talk as long as you need to. We have a few rules at the club that we don't talk about certain things. We don't talk about football because it's Glasgow. We don't talk about religion because it's Glasgow. We don't talk about politics because who wants to talk about politics, especially at the moment. And we don't talk about medication because we're not medical experts, so we can't give medical advice.
Okay.
And anything else is pretty much okay. But then we start off. John will tell you then what questions that we asked you on.
Yeah, we basically asked 4 questions. First question, basically, how's your week been? And then basically I'll go around. In the normal situation, we'll pass a ball around, normally a rugby ball in our case. And as Gary said, that if the guys don't want to talk, then they just pass the ball on.
Okay.
Or on the Zoom meetings, if they don't want to talk, then they just go close their fist like that and then move on. So basically, it's the first 4 questions we'll ask, and then we'll stop and we'll have a tea break and stuff. So normally, in the normal situation, then some of the guys will go outside for a smoke, but the guys are talking. And when me and Gary started the club off, that was one of the main things, that the guys bonded together as well. So that's just as important as the meeting itself, the tea break, so the guys can go and have a chat amongst themselves and stuff as well. So as Gary was saying, we asked 6 questions. The first 4 questions is how's your week been? Is anything you want to get off your chest and stuff, and then we'll stop, and then we'll have the tea break, and then the last 2 questions 5 and 6 are always different every week. So the first 4 questions, they can be quite heavy sometimes if the guys have been really struggling. So the last 2 questions, we always try and get them a bit uplifted, have a bit of a laugh and stuff. So when the guys are going out the door or when the meeting's finished, then they're going off with a bit of a lift and a bit of a smile on the face, hopefully, because it's in tough situations sometimes, but it seems to, the format seems to work. And we always, the meetings 9 times out of 10 never end dead on 9 o'clock. We're always overlapping, because the guys are having a good laugh and stuff like that. So, and that's the way you want it. You want them to leave on a good note as well, So it doesn't happen for everybody. Some guys are really in a dark place, and it takes a while before they actually start coming round and stuff. But it's a good format and it works. So.
Yeah, and what would you say if there was somebody out there who, was watching today and thinks, I'd really love to join the group, but they're just maybe that wee bit scared to sort of approach or make the first step? Do you get any advice for them?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a website, www.mindthemen.co.uk. Have a look. We've got a wee video on the website which talks through, again, what we do on the night, what the questions are, how it works. It's really relaxed. We're just men, encouraging other men to talk. We're not professionals. We're not experts here. Some of the guys have told us that there's been failings with the systems that they've attended, and with medical experts have not always had the best experiences. So we're just guys that are bringing guys together to have a chat. Email us, send us an email, tell us if you're thinking about it. We've had quite a few emails this week, people that are interested. We'll phone you, we'll get back to you, we'll email you back. It's not a problem to even, Zoom us before the meeting for a quick chat, if that's what you want to do. So yeah, we're pretty flexible with getting the guys in the door. Say in the door still, but it's getting into the club.
Yeah.
Honestly, once they're there, we've got no doubt that they'll want to come back, and we see that week after week that guys come through the door looking really terrified. We've seen this for the last couple of years. But me and John, when we first started it, we were very aware of that. We wanted, because we were the 2 facilitators, we had to meet everybody, we had to shake their hand, we had to make sure they're okay, we had to get the club started. But now me and John don't have to even worry about that, because the other men that have been there with us for so long, they'll go over and they'll greet the men, they'll make them feel welcome, they'll start talking to them, they'll put them at ease. And just what happened on Monday night was one of the guys who's not long started, he actually started supporting one of the new guys on Monday, just by telling him how he felt when he started and told him how much the club had helped him over the last 10 weeks. And it was fantastic. We just could sit back and just see this, it's evolving, it's happening. It's true for us, it's true peer support. It's men helping each other. We facilitate it, we organise it and get the teas and coffees out and get the guys together and all that part. But on the club night, everybody works together to make it work, and there's a lot of respect as well. We talk about respect, that you let people talk, that you don't interrupt. When you're talking, as John was saying, we usually pass the ball round. When you're holding the balls when you talk, you don't have the balls when you listen. And that's a golden rule at the club. And if anybody starts talking over, they get told to be quiet. And that's what we're there for. Not to give advice and tell people what to do. It's about having the chance to talk about something that's challenging you. And when you see 25 other guys sitting who are nodding, who can really get you and understand you, it's quite a special moment when that guy suddenly feels not alone anymore and knows that he isn't weak, he isn't strange. He's just got feelings. He just has issues that all of us have. So that's I think every time we see that, it really kind of gives us a real boost as well that the club's working, because we see men moving on and doing well. So yeah, just contact us, just email us. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. We'll always reply to you. We'll always try and reply quite quickly to you as well. But just make that first step to get onto the club. You'll get into the Zoom meeting, and when we get back to normal, you'll come to the club in Partick or Springburn and meet up with us. So just get in touch. Yeah.
And this kind of thing helps because we can see that, you're two nice, regular, approachable guys, happy to help people, and you're just really looking for people to reach out to you, aren't you?
Yeah.
We need a rugby ball, guys, don't we?
We do. I keep interrupting each other. Hold on, I'll go and get one in the garden. But no, it's that's what me and Gary all started this group about. It's just to be there give guys an open space to be able to talk. It's to get things off the chest and to know that they're not alone. As I said, the club obviously started through the unfortunate Gary's cousin Grant passing away, and I remember the day Gary came to us, just for a chat and a cup of coffee in the garden, and said he really needed to start something up, and that was it. It's I could see how much Gary was hurting, and that's why I decided to come on board and help Gary out, and we started it together, and now we've got other facilitators as well that are helping as well, and but it is, as Gary was saying previously, it's great to see the improvement in guys. That's what makes it work for us. We could sit back and just see the development in the guys, and we know we're doing the right thing.
And yes. Why do you think that there is such high levels of suicide, particularly in young men? Is it that lack of sort of community or ability to chat to each other? Why do you think it is?
There's no one answer for this, and people ask us this all the time, and it's not just young men. We've got men from 18 to 75 at the group, and it's the figures have gone up over the last few years, so it's I don't know, the men, have they always been encouraged to talk about how they're feeling? Probably not. The West of Scotland men are particularly known for not talking about how they feel, just go on with be a man, all these things that they've heard from being a child, so from, I don't know, I've looked into it and looked back to when after the Second World War and men were coming home and were just told to go on with things because there was just so much devastation in the country. I said, go on with things and rebuild. And you didn't have time talking about how you were feeling and what you'd seen in war. And I think that generation just carried on, and men didn't know how to talk to their children and so on. And we're at a stage now that too many men, there's a lot of pressures in life now. There's a whole mixture of things that it can be relationships, it can be money, it can be work. We hear lots of stories, why somebody's coming to the club. People don't always have, wouldn't say they have poor mental health. It could be, suicide could happen in a split second. It could be something that through something that's happened terrible in their life. Some of the men that come to the club are not feeling suicidal. They're feeling isolated, they're feeling lonely. There's all mixture of things, but I think, if anything, I think we're beginning to see more men talking about how they feel. And what's fantastic for us is we hear these men now telling us about how they now talk to their children, how they talk to their sons, about how they're feeling. They have these chats and the kids are really interested. What do you go to that club for, Dad? And they tell them. And it's great to hear that these men are now talking to the next, generation of men, and you hopefully, it's got to change in schools from school age upwards, that we're not having to sort of fix broken men, that we can, just have children equipped with the right tools to get by in life. But yeah, there's not really one answer why, but I think definitely there's been a kind of, it's just not been the done thing, has it? Especially in Scotland, got the highest rates of suicide. It's just been a thing that's the way men are, which just generational, sadly. But I think we're getting better.
Mm-hmm. And have you been surprised by how much the group has grown from when you first started it? I mean, you've got such a big Facebook following now. Your group meetings are just increasing all the time. How is it that word's getting out? And has it surprised you exactly how quickly it's kind of taken off?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Go on.
On you go. No, I'll do the same one.
No, well, we're pleased it's developed and it's growing. When we first started, we just didn't know how it was going to go. And as Gary said earlier, we've had 31 guys in Partick alone on one Monday evening. So
that was the first night. Remember the first night?
That's first 31 night. Yeah, 31 turned up first night, and the numbers dip and stuff like that. But then, and what the good thing is, some of the guys, they'll come for a few weeks and they'll go away, then they'll come back. Once they've been, they'll just keep coming backwards and forwards. You get your same guys that come every week, but it's great. And then there's always the demand of opening more clubs. But as me and Gary have spoken on numerous occasions, we like the way the two clubs are working and that they're strong. Anybody can open a club somewhere, but it's how you develop it and you keep it going. And we don't want to be going here, there and everywhere. We want to develop the club as they are. Maybe in the future we may go on and expand to another one or two. But at this moment in time, we're happy with what we've got. And as I say, with the Twitter and Facebook and the web pages and that as well, it's just developing and it's great. The more we can get out there, then the better it is, and stuff. So we try to get the word out, and all the guys that do attend the meetings and that, they're always spreading the words, handing the wristbands out to people, family members and stuff. So we're doing everything we can, and it's great. It's onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
I think when we first started, we were really just putting out some leaflets around about the Partick area. We took a bit of time making sure we had the right location, and we were offered a few different places to have the club. And we heard about this cricket club. I never heard there was a cricket club in Glasgow. I didn't even know they played cricket in Glasgow. But we went to this Partick cricket club, and when we spoke to the manager in there, straight away she got us within 5 minutes. She knew what we were doing. She got the cause. She said, yes, you can have the club for free every Monday night. And they've been absolutely amazing, the support we've had from the cricket club in Glasgow. And it's a really nice location. I don't know if you know what it is. It's just off Dumbarton Road. And you go from the busyness of the Dumbarton Road to this really peaceful street, really nice big green cricket ground, really peaceful. So it's a nice way to kind of come into it. You come through these nice big gates and you're in the cricket club and you feel safe. And that's been great. And as John was saying, we advertised a bit, but not a lot. We were just the two of us putting out leaflets, and we had a Facebook page. But it's been, the first night 31 turned up. We were told by other kind of men's groups, don't expect anybody even for the first few weeks. You may not get anybody through the door. You'll probably sit there yourself. And then that first night, and I think the first night it was special because the club was started because of I lost my cousin Grant to suicide, and a lot of his friends came the first night in support, and that was great, and it was helpful for them as well, and because we're still going through the grieving process, we all were, and it's really helped also. Grant's dad and my dad come to the club, and they won't mind me saying that, and it's helped them as well, and it just really kind of was then word of mouth, as John said, and I think we're a men's group, because we've found that men meeting amongst other men actually open up a lot better than they do in mixed groups. But our biggest supporters and our biggest helpers are the girlfriends, wives, daughters, mums, who probably most of the Facebook followers are female, and that's great because that's really good that they'll push the men to go along or give it a try. You know, we've had one of the guys used to come. I think it was his aunt sat outside for about 2 hours in November in a car waiting for him. You know, and when he, at the end of the meeting, he says, "Well, my aunt's outside. What's she doing? She's waiting on me." I said, "She's been in that car for 2 hours." But that was just shows you that people, you know, they want to see their relatives, their partners get help. One of the guys on Monday night, one of the guys said something really special. I thought that really resonates. It was, you don't understand the ripple effect this club has, not just on the men, but on the families beyond the club. You know, and I thought, God, if it's wives and kids and are seeing dad differently, you know, and he's improving and he's getting better, then that's a good thing as well. You know, it's not just helping the guys, it's helping their families and friends as well. So. Yeah, what was your question? I can't remember what the question was. I'm rambling now.
So you were telling me earlier, you're not actually a charity. You're a voluntary organisation. Is that right?
We're not a charity yet. No, we might at one point be a charity, but you know, we pretty much make our own decisions with the club. You know, we're quite a tight wee club. We've got, I said 5. We've got 7 facilitators between the two clubs. You know, myself and John started it, and we've grown to it, and we've got other men that are now helping out, facilitating. And then we had our second club in Springburn open up. We've got 3 facilitators over there. So we all work very closely together. We all have meetings. We all make decisions. We have action plans. And John loves to see my spreadsheet come out, don't you? And but you know, yeah, a charity is the next thing possibly down the line. We've been very fortunate with the support we've had from different groups and people fundraising to help us just run the club. You know, we're all planning to do the kilt walk this year. We had 52 people, wasn't it, John, doing the kilt walk? Yeah. And we couldn't do it, but then we got the fantastic news that Tom Hunter was paying out the money, and then he added an extra 100%. You know, so we get, you know, a lot of funds were raised to help the club to survive. So. You know, we don't charge the men. There's no charge involved. There's no fees involved. There's no cost to the men. We also do a lot of activities outside the club. We don't just do the Monday night. We also have a private Facebook group so the guys can meet during the week through Facebook. But we've also done, and I keep forgetting, John, we've done lots of things in the last year. We've done Pedal Scotland. We've had a go-kart night. We had a golf championship. We've had football tournaments. We had an artist come in from the university, the Highland and Islands University, who taught the guys how to draw. We had a yoga,
first aid. Had a first aid as well.
First aid, mental health first aid, assist training. We've had counsellors come in recently and teach the guys CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy. Honestly, the support out there has been fantastic. That whenever we're looking for something or a bit of help, people just want to help. We've had the printers offering us free leaflets and flyers and posters and pop-up stands. We've got a lovely big gazebo now, haven't we, for events that, you know, we're really proud of. So, and the wristbands, which we all wear. We can send you a wristband if you want it. The wristbands have been really popular. We've had celebrities like we've had Gavin Mitchell, who's Bobby out of Still Game, is a big supporter and often retweets and shares pictures. We've had, who else have we had? The guys that are some of the guys at River City. We've had Limmy the comedian. We've had Tony Singh the chef. We've had loads of people get in touch and want to wear the wristband and help us and support us and promote us. So, it's going well.
So what's next for you guys then? It's coming out of lockdown. We just need to figure out about social distancing and things like that. Do you think that potentially you would be having meets again if you could stick to social distancing and things?
Yeah, we'll keep going with the Zoom until the government tell us otherwise. You know, and as soon as that's clear and we can go back, then we will be back in the clubs, because at the end of the day, the Monday meeting at Partick and Springburn, that's what the guys like, and that's what we like, where we can meet and we can bond together. So we'll definitely, once the government give us the okay, then we will go back to that. But as Gary was saying as well, in the future as well, the kilt walk is supposed to be going ahead, so we will be doing that as well, and different other events, whatever does come up for the rest of this year, then we will be doing it. And getting out there and spreading the word, but not just spreading the word, but it's getting the guys involved. That's the main thing, is getting the guys out and about and meeting different people and stuff. And it's That's the big thing for us, because we even met a couple of months ago now, and went round the park in Glasgow a couple of times and sat in and had a cup of coffee on a Sunday morning, and it was guys from both groups, just getting together and meeting for the first time. So we just do whatever we can, we will do it. So
we were trying to, our plan this year was to do, last year we did a few different activities, and we thought we'll do 20 different activities in 2020, so it was 20 in 2020, and we started having all these plans to do all these different things that we're going to get involved in. And a month or so ago, we had the Judy Murray Foundation got in touch and wanted to teach us all tennis. So she, her team put on a session for us in the Gorbals, and the guys came and learned how to play tennis. And so that was the plan. And then we had a plan to go out, and somebody invited us onto their barges, didn't they? There was a Navy's barges.
Right, yeah.
We're going to take them on the barges. There's all these things we're going to do, so they're all kind of on hold at the moment. And I think, as John says, it's just going to be getting back together. I mean, they're quite a tactile bunch, and when you come in, you always get a big hug, don't you, or a fist bump or something. So I think people are missing that, just that connection. And I think it's just being together. And as John says, we ask the questions. It's quite structured, the meeting. But at the tea break, the guys will break into wee groups or just chat together and really enjoy their company with each other. We often have to kick them out at the end of the night, don't we, when the place is closed, and not try and shoot. And then we end up standing out in the street for about another half hour, don't we, trying to get home. But you don't mind, because we all enjoy it. So I think we missed that part of it. I think that's the thing, we want to get back together. And if we can do it in a safe way, and we'll learn as we go along, as things hopefully start to go back to normal, that we'll see how we can manage that, how it's possible. But we'll get there. But we'll continue doing what we're doing on Zoom at the moment, and we'll make these plans. And I think we're going to have a big party, aren't we? The night we get back together, we'll have some kind of celebration.
Definitely.
It'll be 2 years in September. Actually, it was the 3rd of September 2018 we started. So it'll be 2 years in September. We've been going as a club, so I think we'll do something to celebrate that.
Celebrate that, yeah, of course. So one of your meetings is the cricket ground in Partick. Where's the other one in Springburn?
It's the community hub in Springburn Shopping Centre. We had tried a few different things. You got to try things. We were in the Tesco's over that way for a wee while, but didn't quite work. And then we managed to get offered the community hub, which is in the actual shopping centre. And again, I think the support's been great, and there's the accommodations free to us, and I mean, even things like teas and coffees for the guys. We've been offered free teas and coffees at the Co-op in Bearsden, so a lot of things are covered, which has been great. So
sorry, I've got a child interrupted.
No problem.
Sounds like a pub name, John, doesn't it?
So what we'll do now, guys, is we'll get all your links and where people can contact you, and we'll add them to above the post, so that anybody that watches this and thinks maybe they know somebody, or them themselves want to get in touch, then they know how to get hold of you.
That's great, and we love just people want to share the Facebook page on their Facebook page. Please just share and pass it on. You don't know who in your circle of friends could be struggling. This might help. And we're not the only men's group in Scotland. There's more and more. We've got friends all over the place who run groups in Scotland, so we can always put you in touch with somebody, even if it's not in Glasgow. And John was talking about growing. I always get frightened when John starts talking about growing, but we are 2 clubs at the moment. We always talked about maybe having 4 clubs in Glasgow. If it gets to that point that we need to. But we're always willing to share with other people in other areas. How the club works. Come along, see what happens on the night, and join us, and we'll tell you how it works. We're not precious about what we do. We'd love one of these clubs to be in every town, every city, in Scotland, that men have a chance to go to, and there's more and more springing up, which is great. So again, we can put you in touch with people that we know throughout the rest of Scotland.
Yes, it's quite.
Just going to say also that all the facilitators were all either mental health first aid trained, or were assist trained, applied suicide intervention skills training, or were safe talk trained. So we've got a degree of training, in that level, that we can spot the signs. We know when things have to go to the next level and help the guys. But we do also promote, obviously, Samaritans and Breathing Space and all the other organisations can help the guys when they're not at the club on a Monday night.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's fantastic. I think what you're doing is amazing, guys. Keep up the good work. I hope that people that do suggest if they are needing help, then this will encourage them to make contact with you, because it really is making a difference to people's lives.
Yeah, we hope
Definitely.
so.
As Gary said, the hardest part is taking that first step. And once the guys have taken the first step, then we're the great group of guys that we have at the clubs, and they'll make the people, the new guys, really welcome. So it's a daunting task, but once they've done that first step, then they'll be fine, honestly.
Yeah. And the first step, of course, is to reach out to one of you two, and they've kind of met you already now because you're on the video.
Yeah, we're not as scary as we look. You know, we're all right. We're all right.
Yeah.
I know we have a face for radio. I know, but it's one of.
Well, that's the beauty of lockdown. We can get away with anything at the moment. Everybody's in a bedroom or, somewhere that's a bit. It's not always a polished delivery, but everyone's just got to make do, haven't they?
You've got to adapt, haven't you? You've got to adapt and keep going, and that's what we're about. And we say to the guys, when you join us, you're a member for life. You're a member for life, and that's important. That once you come with us, we'll keep in touch as best we can. But and as John was saying, some of the guys will come for a few weeks, and then they feel, that was enough for me at that point in my life. I'm actually doing okay now, and that's great. We want the guys to move on. We want to have new members all the time. We want the guys to kind of move on and know that we're there if they have to come back to us. But do you know what? It's just having somebody that listens, I think, and just being able to talk and feel that I can get this out there. I can speak about how I'm feeling and to be accepted and just to be listened to. And that's what you'll get. You'll get that. That'll be guaranteed. Now it again becomes onto the Zoom meeting or to the club. You'll be listened to. And that we see it all the time. As John says, we know it works because just having that ability to share how you're feeling is such a powerful thing. And you can then you're really helping yourself then. And then to see that transformation for somebody then who's been struggling to help another person, you're giving back then, aren't you? You're really giving back. And then the guys start coming to we have events usually over the summer. We have a lot of fetes we go to and the different events with the stalls. And the guys love coming to that and helping out and helping new people join the club. So it's just about giving back each time. So yeah, it's pretty bit simple like me and John, bit simple what we do, but we hopefully effective.
It works. Yeah, it's working. Well done, guys. It's been lovely talking to you.
You too.
Thank you very much, Fiona.
Thanks so much for coming on. I wish you all the best with it. And let's hope that if anybody is out there and needing some help, that they're going to contact you after seeing you on this video. They'll probably contact John right enough because they don't have a clue who you are, Gary. You're blacked out. Thanks very much, Gary.
Thank you.